It is a great day to be alive, and I am so thankful for God, Jesus Christ, who lives in us. Today's video is titled Luna Mama. This is a new dream that I had on January the 10th this year, 2026. By the end of this video, I want to show how this dream ties in with the dream that I shared in a previous video. That video was titled Luna and the Bee Sting. Again, I want to show how both of these dreams tie together, hopefully giving us a message about what's to come for Luna and USTC. Before we get started, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing that I'm sharing is financial advice. I'm simply sharing dreams, visions, and interpretations that I feel God has given me as it relates to crypto. Now, let's get into the video. So this new dream started out with me seeing myself sitting, and I was doing something that I wouldn't normally do. I saw that I was spraying used tissue paper and my kids' dirty clothes with Lysol. And in my mind, I was thinking, once I spray this, we can reuse these clothes. We don't have to wash them. Once I spray this used tissue, we can reuse it again. Don't have to get a new one. And again, that is something that I would definitely not do. The second part of this dream is what the bulk of this video will be about. In the second part of this dream, I walked into a room. The lights were off, but it was lit enough for me to be able to see who was in the room, what was going on, what was happening. Again, the setting was at night. And I saw myself standing in front of these two cribs, these two baby cribs. In one crib, I saw my husband. And in another crib, I saw one of my classmates. He was sitting there and he was wearing shades. And so I began to focus my attention on my classmates because I'm trying to figure out why in the world is he wearing shades inside at night, and why are they in the crib? So as I'm standing there watching my classmate, I hear my husband tell me, I saw his eyes move. And I looked over at my husband. I told him, no, you didn't see his eyes move. He has on shades. I've been watching him the whole time, and you can't even see his eyes. And at this point, I walked over to my husband and I popped him on top of his head. My husband's response to me popping him on the head was, okay, Luna Mama. And that was the end of the dream. So I will quickly say this for those of you who may remember my bonk dream. The portion of this dream where I popped him on top of his head reminded me of the bonk dream. I shared in this video that my husband was the main person in this dream, the only person in this dream. And last year in July 1st specifically, we saw the price movement of bonk begin to take off because there was a possibility that there would be a bonk ETF. And we know that bonk means to hit. So if I forget to mention this again in this video, I think that there may be a small tie to bonk and the events of Luna. Again, we'll get to that a little bit later on as far as the win for Luna, or I should say the possibility of win. So this portion in this Luna Mama dream where I popped him on top of his head reminded me of that particular bonk dream and what happened last year with bonk. Now, I want to move now on in this new dream. When I saw my classmate in this dream wearing glasses, I knew to go to Facebook and try to find out when his birthday was. And I saw that his birthday was January the 1st. And I'm like, okay, it's January the 10th. This January 1st day has already passed. And so as I'm continuing to look at his profile, I see a very sweet post that he did for his mama. He dedicated this post to his mama. And that prompted me to take a look at his mama's profile to see when her birthday was. And when I looked to see, I saw that her birthday is January 24th. She has a birthday coming up. And so I decided to just kind of pinpoint that particular date. I prayed some more about this dream, and then I began to ask God, well, why was he wearing these shades inside at night? So then I began to put together some keywords, shades and cribs. And what I found was this company called Crib of Frames. And this, again, is an eyewear company. I began to look more into this eyewear company to find out about the owners. And I found out that the director, or the people in control of this company, their names, Harry Omar, and the other person got two first names, Omar. And for me, the emphasis here was on the name Omar. When I saw Omar, I immediately thought about Minnesota. I immediately thought about this individual that Brandon, I shared in my last Luna Bee Sting video. how that after having this Luna bee sting dream, I began to pray about it, and I feel as though God has sent this short video that he did about this particular individual, and how in his vision he saw a swarm of bees um, flying around, swarming around her head, and how the message that came to him was great corruption in Minnesota, and out of this corruption will spring forth a hive of bumblebees. Um, and so I told you guys that I felt that there was a Luna connection there based on my dream, his vision, his interpretation, and now to this new dream that I've had about these cribs and these shades, and then seeing the last name Omar. This takes us right back to Minnesota, right back to where I ended that video, but this time the focus is on her. And the issue that Brandon's referring to is what you all may know is the whole fraudulent activity that she is possibly allegedly involved in. I connected that to Luna because of Doquan, the fraudulent activity that he pled guilty to as far as Luna and what happened when Luna collapsed. More big connections that God gave me with the story about Samson and how Samson killed the lion. And after some time, he went back and saw that there was a beehive and honey inside of the dead lion's carcass. I compared that to Luna being dead and how, like this carcass of this lion in this Bible story, within the carcass of this dead coin Luna, a beehive or honey will spring forth, and this is what we were referring to, or I'm referring to, as the wealth transfer. Also, as it related to the bee, the spring, I derived the date based on the color of Luna. In that bee sting dream, Luna was purple, and therefore I derived the date of April the 7th. April the 7th tied to Tim Walls, tying us back to Minnesota again, tying us back to Brandon's vision. His birthday, April the 6th. And finally, as it relates to the story about Samson and the beehive and the honey, the city that Samson was headed to when he was attacked by this lion, that city was called Timnah. And I shared that when I saw Timnah, I thought about the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. And finally, my conclusion was that the timing of Luna, what's going to happen with Luna, USTC, could definitely correspond with the timing of events that are unfolding in Minnesota. Now, at this point in time, it was all over the news about the fraud and Tim and this Omar lady being involved in this. Well, a few days later, what we didn't know was that there was going to be a big riot taking place based on what happened in Minnesota with this particular individual. And so now Minnesota is definitely in the news. People are watching what is going on there. It's just so much that is unfolding. And then this brings us to January the 10th when I had this Luna Mama dream. And then again, and again, we are looking at Omar, the owners of this company. And that again brings us back to her. Another dream tying us back to Minnesota. Now, one more thing about Samson, Timnah, me connecting that to Tim Walz. Her husband is also named Tim. So I thought that was very interesting. So what we're looking at right now is this new date of January 24th. We're looking at still April the 6th, which is Tim's birthday. We're looking at April the 7th, which is the derived date that I got from that Luna dream. And again, all of it's connecting to these two coins. Now, the last part of this, I did a random search about two people in a crib, very random. And what I found was this game called cribbage. As far as the object of this game, my eyes went straight to pair. As far as scoring goes, there are several ways of scoring, but I saw pairs there. And then what came to mind was that in the dream, I saw a pair of cribs. I saw a pair of glasses. And this reminded me of the pair USTC in Luna. Now, this cribbage game used to be called Nabi, but it disappeared. The name was changed, and cribbage is what it was replaced with. Now, this reminded me of UST when it became Unpeg and Luna crashed. Well, later on, there was a name change, and that name was changed to Terra Classic, what we call Lunk. We know that when it comes to stablecoin, when a stablecoin is unpegged, it becomes unstable. And when it's pegged, it is stable. Well, with this game, cribbage, it has all to do with scoring using pegs. So you use the pegs as far as scoring. The scoring system goes, you can score with 15s, you can score with pairs, you can score with runs, and the crib. So at this point, peg became my focus based on this game and this research. taking me back to my very first Luna and USTC dream that I had back in 2022, where I saw prices. The price for Luna, $7. The price for USTC was 80 cents. And from that time up until now, I believe that this dream is showing me that there will be a repegging of USTC, or a strong attempt to repeg. Therefore, I saw the price of 80 cents and I saw Luna at $7. So putting together both of these dreams, the Luna bee sting dream, the Luna mama dream, and how each of these dreams pointed to an individual. The Luna bee sting dream pointed to Tim. The Luna the Luna mama dream pointed to Omar. With both dreams, I derived dates. So my question now is, God, are you showing me that this repegging, or possible repegging, will start on January 24th and it moves us through April the 7th? Or will this start on April the 7th? Is this January 24th date significant of Luna and USTC just the price movement? Or events unfolding in Minnesota, specifically to Omar as it relates to this January 24th date? So here are these dates again: January 24th, April the 6th, Tim's birthday, April the 7th is the derived date. Again, guys, I'm praying about all of this. As I'm praying, these things are coming to me, and I wanted to go ahead and just share this video simply because I know this January 24th date is coming up soon, and it could be nothing, but based on what I'm seeing here, I am looking forward to something happening or taking place, whether it has to do with Minnesota, something that we haven't seen, something new to unfold, or it has something to do with the price movement of Luna and USTC, or both. I'm just sharing with you guys what I have. Please pray with me about these things as we wait for as we wait to see what God is going to do as far as these dreams and Luna and USTC goes. Well, that is all that I have for this video. Until the next one, God bless.